Have you ever felt like your apartment or home is the smallest living space that could ever exist in the entire world and no other smaller living spaces could exist? Well, I felt that way too when I got my first apartment with my wife. Our first apartment was 700 square feet, and with the two of us and a dog, it felt like the smallest space ever. But after seeing these videos, both of us would be wrong. Today, I'm going to be diving into some TikToks that showcase some of the world's smallest apartments. And the size of them is laughably small, and the price is just, well, pure laughable. Now, these apartments are in very high density areas. You can probably guess New York City is being one of them. I think there's one from Toronto, Ontario, pretty close to where I am, and I think London. I can't remember exactly, but these apartments are so small that it might just make you feel a little grateful for your space. I know it has me, so... Anyways, enough talk. Let's dive into these TikToks. My dog decided that she wanted to watch the videos too, so she'll be here for a little bit in and out.
I'm moving tomorrow, so it's time I show you my bathroom, which I believe is the smallest bathroom in New York City. If it is not the smallest bathroom in New York City, I would like you to show me the smallest bathroom in New York City, because I personally haven't seen another one. Hold on, I'm making heart-shaped pasta, not for anyone, but I am feeling love because I'm about to live in a bathroom that is, well, you'll see. So, you walk in to the establishment. Oh, normal bathroom, right? Normal bathroom, place to hang. That did come with the apartment. We have this nice shower curtain. It's from Urban Outfitters. We have this area where I keep my toothbrush. You'll see why in a moment. Then we have this great bath mat from Amazon. I am stepping on it with my outside shoes. And then if you're thinking, this is great, where's the sink? Totally. What's great about this is you don't have to turn on the sink and turn on the toilet in two separate actions. It actually is the same action. And if you're thinking, what if I want to flush the toilet, but I don't want to turn on the sink? Well, that's not an option. That's not an option that you have. What if I want to turn on this, I think it's big in Japan. And is environmentally friendly. My new apartment has a sink though, so, wealth comes at you fast.
All right, so that was just, that was innovation at its finest right there, folks. You have never been through a property that has had, I don't even know what you would call it, a toy link? a sinklet? I have no idea what it would be called, but that is definitely one of the most unique bathroom arrangements that I've seen. Again, like I mentioned before, it's in New York, high density area. Apartments go for ridiculous amounts of money in New York. So I imagine she was still paying an obscene amount of money for that apartment there. And just from what I could kind of see in the background, it looked like her kitchen was literally just a 2 square foot, if that, 1 square foot little cube that had your stove here, fridge beside it, or whatever that was, and then like a little tiny island behind. Definitely unique. And then behind that was just her couch and then the bathroom. So, I mean, I imagine there's got to be a bedroom in there, but still it looked like a very, very small apartment and very confined. Definitely for one person only, because I'm not sure you could fit 2 people in there. And some of these other ones that we're going to see, you definitely could not fit 2 people in. But yeah, that was just the most obscene thing that I had seen in a property, is a toy link. That's what I'm calling it. It's a toy link. It's a toilet and a sink. Toy link. If that phrase is not already coined or copyrighted, I think I'm going to do that after this video. Definitely one of those things that you only find in those micro apartments in the big cities. Again, New York City is very, very expensive for their real estate, both resale, new builds, and also for rentals. And not everybody has that kind of money, so they have to cater to all sorts of financial demographics and make sure that there's apartments for everyone. And like I said, I'm sure that one is still obscenely expensive for the size of it, but I guess in New York, that would be considered a cheap apartment. Even if I was single, I don't imagine that I would enjoy, and she probably doesn't either, but I don't think I could even make do with that space just by myself. It just seems almost claustrophobic, just too small. But in a big city with over 1 million people, you gotta make do, I guess. So on to the next ultra tiny apartment. Oh yeah, and this lady saw the Toy Link lady's video and is challenging her that might be the smallest bathroom in New York City, but she has the smallest kitchen. So let's take a look and we'll see.
I just saw a video of a girl sharing what she thinks is New York City's smallest bathroom, and I just have to make a video because I think I have New York City's smallest kitchen. Look at this. We are in the West Village. We are in a studio. When you decide to live in the West Village, you are not signing up for square footage. You are not signing up for any amenities, no bells and whistles. Like, this is bare minimum. What you are signing up for is access to the best neighborhood in Manhattan. Location is everything. And really all I wanted when I decided to live on my own and get a studio was to have a kitchen away from the main living area. And this unit achieves it, but it's barely wide enough for me to even stand in it. It can barely turn. So yeah, this is it. This is my only counter space right here. And this isn't even a stove, it's a hot plate, so.
Yeah, I would agree with her. I think that's the smallest kitchen in New York City. She did say that location is the reason for the ultra tiny apartment as well. When you get into the nicer areas of a city, then obviously you start to pay a premium. And if you can't afford that premium, then the places usually aren't as big, spacious, or great compared to the other properties in the area. But that is definitely the smallest kitchen I have ever seen, I think. And yeah, she said it's a bachelor, so obviously her bed was like right in the main area of the apartment, along with a chair. Her living room / bedroom is all crammed together in one space. And then obviously she has her kitchen kind of down a little hallway. Hopefully there's a bathroom in there somewhere slightly bigger than the other girl's apartment. It's definitely eye-opening to see these apartments in these big cities and what is possible for rentals, basically. I imagine she's probably paying like $2,000 a month for that apartment, if not more. Like, I don't know much about New York City's neighborhoods and which is good, which is not, and that kind of thing. So I have no idea what rental prices are in one area versus another. I'm just going based off of, what I've seen in real estate shows like Owning Manhattan, Ryan Serhant's Netflix special, or Netflix series, sorry. And some of those places are absolutely bananas. But yeah, I imagine she's still paying way more than I would deem appropriate for an apartment of that size. But again, I'm in a small town in Ontario, Canada, small in regard to New York City with over 1 million people, and we've only got just over 100,000 people. So definitely small in comparison. And if somebody tried to list an apartment for rent for like $2,000 a month for that size of apartment in my city, I would probably have to call their broker and say, are they out of their mind? And like, how would you have people over? And like, I mean, I guess you can hang out wherever, I guess, but like, it wouldn't be the best entertaining space, I guess. I'd feel like I was just hanging out with my friends in high school in my bedroom, trying to stay away from my parents, essentially. I mean, I guess that's the vibe when you're living in New York, in an apartment that size anyways, but you make do with what you got, right? So it's just crazy to see. All right, and this next one is in Japan, and it's just, the architecture is pretty crazy. I don't know, it's unique. I've never seen anything like it, but it's definitely very small, and I have no idea how you would live in this space without feeling suffocated all the time. Granted, I have a bit of claustrophobia, so that might just be me. I don't know. Let's get to it.
This is Japan's craziest apartment, hands down.
This is it. The whole thing is basically just a giant triangle. It's like living in your own personal Toblerone. In fact, to give you a bit of reference, this is me up against the edge of the building. But the building itself is filled with challenges, starting with this staircase right here. This is so incredibly narrow that I barely fit. Let's go take a peek inside. This is our room right here. Right out of the gate, we take our shoes off in the entrance, and we are greeted by the shower area. And there's a bath in here. And amazingly, I actually fit somewhat nicely in the bath. I've had worse baths than this in Japan, and this has a window to it as well. So really, any bath space that has a window is a plus in my side, but the apartment itself is, well, a little bit hard to show the shape and size of. This is basically the entire thing. In the entrance, you have a little bit of a sink, you have an IH heater, and you have a tiny little mini fridge that's just big enough for an iPhone. There's a window-mounted air conditioner over here on this side. The view is actually quite nice. We're out in the area of Nerima, Tokyo, so kind of the outskirts of Tokyo. And then on this side, it opens up to what is actually a fairly busy road. So all day as I've been shooting my main video for YouTube, it's been quite noisy. The building itself is actually called the Sankaku or Triangle Building. And while it does have a decent amount of storage for your stone bedding or whatever it is, you may have noticed that there's no toilet in this room. And that's because the toilet actually requires you to step out of your apartment once and go all the way over here where you open this door to your tiny toilet. Now this almost certainly takes the prize for the single smallest toilet space I have ever been into in my life, let alone here in Japan. Claustrophobics beware. This is not the space for you, and there's not a lot of ventilation, so it gets really hot in here. But by far the most interesting part of shooting this video is the warnings that I got. I will cover those in the full video on YouTube along with the price, but the big question is, would you live here?
So first off, no, I would not live there. I could not, especially with that bathroom. Just bringing you back to the whole me being slightly claustrophobic thing. He's right. That ain't for me. No thanks. I could not do that. That is just too small. But it's crazy how like the building is shaped and it's basically barely wider. Like it's actually slightly less wide than a human being at the very tip of the triangle, which is just bananas. And then you have stairs that just go up and like around into the triangle and then into your door, which I guess is your apartment. I'm not sure. I'm assuming it's a shared apartment building and there has to be different entrances. Yeah, and then you have your sink. Basically, as soon as you walk in, it looks like an industrial sink, honestly, like you see in a restaurant. And then your little cooktop, which is just, I don't even know how you would cook in there. I mean, it just doesn't look like enough space to like, you got no counter space to like put things or chop things. I guess you'd have to go over to the little mini fridge and like chop stuff on top of it, but it just seems super inconvenient, honestly. And that bathroom, man, I'm going back to that bathroom because that is just crazy. And it was another toy link. You know, she did mention that they're popular in Japan or something like that. And yeah, it was another toy link. That's just crazy. Like 2 toy links in one sitting. Never seen them before now. And now I see 2, so pretty crazy. And yeah, he mentioned it gets very hot in there because it's such a small confined space with like no ventilation. And just thinking of what happens in a bathroom, I'm not sure that's a good idea. Hot, no ventilation. You know, doesn't seem like a good time. So yeah, no, I would, I'm curious as to what that would rent for, because he didn't mention, at least I don't think he mentioned how much it would rent for in Japan, but it's basically no space at all. I think it's enough space for basically maybe a foldable chair and like a cot or like a rollout bed or something like that. Like just, or sorry, not a rollout bed, but like maybe a sleeping bag. I don't know, it just does not look like a lot of space. I don't know how you'd live there full time. To me, it looks more like it'd be an okay spot if you're like, you know, backpacking through the country or something like that and just need a place to stay for a couple nights. But I don't think that I could live there full time. Could you? If you could live there full time, or you know, you'd be okay with it, let me know in the comments below, because I'm curious. Everyone's different, right? Everyone has different needs and can live in different situations than others. So I personally couldn't. Too claustrophobic, not for me. But if you could, let me know in the comments below. That view out the window though, that was pretty nice, but it was a very blue sky with like those big fluffy white clouds, so that can make any view look really nice. But I did enjoy that out the window, so that was kind of cool. I think I've got another one in here from Japan too, so let's get through some more of these and see how crazy these apartments can get.
These are the features of a tiny Tokyo apartment in a slightly expensive area. A heated toilet with no wash lid, 360-degree floor-to-ceiling windows. They open up so you can see outside. A little bar for safety over here. The windows even have blinds that you can close like that all the way around. There's a washing machine right here, as well as a tiny, I guess you can call it, kitchen with a small sink, 2 induction heaters, your air conditioner is in the worst possible place, as well as your plugs are under the ground like this, and there are not that many for the whole apartment. And then this brings you all the way back around to your tub and your toilet. Full video up on Tokyo Lens.
So yeah, that one's pretty crazy too. It reminds me of a maze, except for it's just a square. Just because it's literally basically on the outside, which makes me wonder what's in the middle of the, is it just like, why is there just a big, you know, why is it just a square? You get to live on the perimeter of the building, it feels like. And that toilet, I mean, and bath, you know, everyone, you know, gets a show apparently. But I guess he did say there was blinds, but I don't know. It just feels a little too invasive for my liking. And then the toilet was on one side, and then the sink was all the way around the other side of the tub. So you got to go to the bathroom, and then you got to walk all the way around the perimeter to get to your sink to wash your hands. That just seems very inconvenient. I'm not a fan. Again, I couldn't do it. Maybe you could. Let me know between the 2 Japan apartments, which one do you prefer? And because it's just like a perimeter, you gotta like, where do you sleep? Do you just like, is there a place where your bunk kind of pulls out of the wall, or do you have to just like lay a sleeping bag right in your hallway? And yeah, I don't know. A lot of views. That would be the highlight of the listing, would be like 360-degree view of the city. And I guess at least that one had laundry. I didn't even think about laundry in the other apartments. They probably have to use like a local laundromat or something like that, which is kind of even more convenient. So it's kind of nice that this place has a washing machine. A little bit of a perk with some sacrifices, but again, I'm curious as to what these places would rent for in Japan. So not much more to say about that. So we'll go on to the next one and see what that one's like. This next one is actually an apartment tour by Eric Conover. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Sorry if I butchered it, but I used to watch his video tours on YouTube when I was getting into real estate. So it's kind of cool. This one is the smallest apartment in New York City, it says.
This is officially the smallest apartment in all of New York City, measuring just 55 square feet, or just about 5.1 meters squared. The apartment is located on St. Mark's Place in the Lower East Side and has been the go-to spot for those looking to move to the Big Apple and make their dreams come true, on a budget of course. The apartment comes with a microwave, sink, vanity, and a mini fridge. Here's your walk-in closet with some shelving, complete with your very own sleeping loft. And if you're wondering, the shared bathroom is just right down the hall. And this place is on the market for $1,400 per month. Do you think it's worth it? Comment down below.
Wow, $1,400. I did say it was expensive in New York, and $1,400 for a 55 square foot apartment is insane. That's crazy. Doesn't even have its own bathroom, and you have to share your bathroom with others. And in the bathroom, it was just a toilet and a sink. So where do you shower? How do you take a shower in that apartment and get ready every day? It was just crazy. Like, I don't know. The loft is kind of cool though. I like the loft. It was kind of cool, you know. Have your own little bunk space upstairs, you know, have your little living room / dining room set up downstairs. It's a better layout, I think, than some of these other ones. But still, that's just crazy. 55 square feet. I think I'd feel a little less claustrophobic in that one than the other ones, but it's still very small. Like, you couldn't really have people over. It's just too small to do that. You'd both just it'd be like some venues, standing room only. You can't really sit down in those apartments because then you take up a quarter of the actual total livable space. So yeah, it's definitely unique. Definitely very, very small. I haven't seen anything that small in my town where I'm from, thankfully, because I feel like that would just be absurd for my market, and charging $1,400 for it. Again, I would call their broker record and just be like, are you guys out of your mind listing it for that much money? Like Eric said in the video, average rent in New York City, and I don't know when this was filmed, but average rent at the time was $4,000 a month, which is a lot of money for rent every single month. I toured a really large home near my city that was a new build, probably I think it was like 3,100 square feet or something like that, and that was for rent for $4,400. So $400 more and you have a massive living space. All right, we're gonna watch one more New York City tour apartment, and this one's extra small. It doesn't even have a cook surface, so I'm not sure how this guy cooks his meals or if he cooks at all. So let's take a look and he'll show you around his ultra small apartment.
Here's what it's like living in the smallest apartment in New York. Wherever your expectations are, lower them. As soon as you walk in the door, we have the sink. Right next to the sink is conveniently located the kitchen. Pantry is absolutely stocked. I just realized that all those foods are carbohydrates and also come in a box. There's no nutritional value here. One bowl, one plate. My living quarters, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. That's what the place was missing. I have 2 beds, but only one me. Some nights I'm a queen guy, other nights I chill on the twin. Closet. That's the whole place. Last thing, my piano. I'm a piano guy.
All right, that one was extra tiny. Literally sink, mini fridge, and a microwave for cooking your meals, I guess. You can only eat microwavable food, so that's that, I guess, or reheat food you get from elsewhere. But yeah, just that, a bed, and then a closet. That's crazy. I have no idea. I don't even want to know how much he pays for rent for something that small. That's just obscenely tiny for an apartment. It looks more like a closet, in my opinion, compared to what I've been through in my city. And again, makes me feel very grateful for my living space and, you know, what's available in this area. I understand the reasoning behind these small apartments. Again, like I said, you know, high density areas have to maximize the space available. That's why they always build up, because they can put a lot of units in those tall buildings and fit a lot of people in there. And some of those units are going to end up being a lot smaller than others based on, you know, rent affordability. As much as I understand it, it's just crazy to me to see it and to see how, you know, some people have to live based on what they can afford, obviously. I imagine he's also got a shared bathroom in the hallway somewhere like that other apartment tour, just because those ultra small apartments don't have room for a bathroom. So I'm assuming shared bathroom, some sort of communal shower stalls, or maybe he's got to have a gym membership to take a shower. I don't know. It seems very inconvenient for me, but again, I understand the budget. You can only get what you can afford. Could you live in any one of these apartments in the videos? If so, let me know in the comments below. And is your apartment smaller? Let me know. I'd love to find out and settle this once and for all. Who's got the world's smallest apartment? Thanks for watching the video. Sometimes I give real estate tips and advice to help you in your real estate ventures based on the content, but this one was just for entertainment purposes, as it's always interesting to see what's out there and what people's living situations are like and that kind of thing. Again, thanks for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel for more real estate content, tips, advice, and reactions. Until next time.